Diba? Maano sa ilaw sa yung ano sa camera.
Hello, good morning, everyone. For those who just joined us, please fill up our attendance sheet. I'll be sending it at the chat box. Thank you.
Sir Rendel. Sir Rendel. Hello po. Sir Rendel. Hello po, Ma'am Christine. Are you here, Ma'am Christine?
Hello, Sir Ruben. Yes po.
Ma'am, pwede pong pa-add yung isa kong kaibigan?
Sige lang, sir. Accept ko.
Sige po. Si Ma'am Rosana Esquivel.
Okay, pabigay na lang siguro, sir, ng link na to, sir. Tapos accept na lang namin siya, sir.
Ma'am, email po?
Apo, sige po.
Sige po, siguro. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
I ran late last night and I tried to test the speed of the thing. It's no good. I ordered the newly created GITT to develop a national broadband plan to accelerate the deployment of fiber optic cable and wireless technology to improve internet speed. Wi-Fi access shall be provided as no charge in selected public places, including parks, plazas, public libraries, schools, government hospitals, train stations, airports, and people. I ran late last night. I tried to test the speed of the thing. It's no good. I ordered the newly created GITT to develop a national broadband plan to accelerate the deployment of fiber optic cable and wireless technology to improve internet speed. Wi-Fi access shall be provided at no charge in selected public places, including parks, plazas, public libraries, schools, government hospitals, train stations, airports, and people.
Hello po, Ma'am Christine. Ma'am Christine?
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, nag-pin na po ako dun sa pinapad kong isang participant pa.
Yes po, nasend na rin po namin yung link, sir, sa kanya.
Okay po, okay po. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay po.
Okay, so we have 53 in attendance already, so I think we can start. But before we officially start today's webinar, I would like to greet everyone attending a pleasant morning. We hope that you and your family are doing good during this pandemic. And welcome to today's webinar titled Database Design Using MS Access. I'm Randall, by the way, from DICT Luzon Cluster 2 under Free Wi-Fi in Public Places project. And allow me to give a brief introduction of our dear office. We have 4 projects under DICT LC2, namely Tech for Ed, EBPLS, IIDB, and the project that made this webinar possible, Free Wi-Fi for All. Okay. The Department of Information and Communications Technology shall be the primary policy planning, coordinating, implementing, and an administrative entity of the executive branch of the government that will plan, develop, and promote the National ICT Development Agenda under RA 10844. Free Wi-Fi for All. By virtue of RA 10929, Free Wi-Fi for All aims to provide free access to internet service in all public places throughout the country so as to promote knowledge building among citizens and enable them to participate and compete in the evolving information and communication age. Okay. Also, just a quick run through on our house rules. Number 1, make sure your microphones are on mute. It's not that we don't like to hear from you, because on our second house rule, we'll make sure your thoughts will not be left unheard. But may we just request for your questions to be asked only at the chat box. Our resource speaker will be allotting time to answer your questions at the end of the discussion. Of course, for everyone who registered, fill up the attendance sheet. Here's the link. We'll be sending you the link at the chat box. Okay. Also, webinar codes will be flashed at the beginning, at the middle, and at the end of the session. Make sure you get all 3 codes because these codes are required in claiming your certificates. You can also watch the replay of the webinar on DICT on Free Wi-Fi for All YouTube channel, DICT Free Wi-Fi for All - Luzon Cluster 2. Okay. Also, just a few reminders for the post-evaluation form for our webinar for today, titled Database Design Using MS Access. Here's the link. I think we can send it later, the link later on as well. We will be requiring you to answer a few questions. The passing score is 7 points. So for everyone, we request for you to submit it at 2 p.m. today. Good luck, everyone. Also, please do like our Facebook pages. Here are the links for our Facebook pages for DICT Free Wi-Fi for All, Luzon Cluster 2, DICT Free Wi-Fi for All, and also the Facebook page for Tarlac Agricultural University. So there you have it. As I mentioned, here's the first webinar code for today's webinar. So take note of it, take a screenshot or take a photo. So it's 197JJ. Again, it's 1917JJ. Okay, I'll give you a moment to check. Okay. So I think that's enough. I think everyone already got the webinar code. So with that, let's all welcome our resource speaker for today, graduated Associate in Computer Technology from Interworld Colleges Foundation Incorporated. Also from the same school, he graduated Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, took his Master of Science in Information Technology in Tarlac State University. He is also a Doctor of Information Technology, Assistant Professor for, and is currently the Department Chair of the Department of Computer Studies in Tarlac Agricultural University. So guys, without further ado, Mr. Ruben Asidera Paraza. Hello, sir. Sir Ruben?
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. So take it away, sir. The floor is yours.
Okay, sir. Okay. Yung aking presentation, nakikita niyo po ba?
Di pa po, sir.
Hindi pa po. Yan po. Okay na po?
Yes, sir. Okay na po. Thank you.
Okay. So, again, good morning and welcome to all. And thank you, Sir Randel, for the introduction. And also thank you to DICT for inviting me and considering me as resource person in this webinar titled Designing Database with Simulation Using Microsoft Access. Sabi nga nila, whatever happens, learning should never stop and no learners should be left behind. So this webinar is an initiative of DICT in partnership with the Department of Computer Studies of the Tarlac Agricultural University as one of their efforts to support the learners in this ongoing pandemic. Also, I would like to give credits to the two of the participants who are with us today kasi malaki yung kanilang contribution when I was studying or taking up my DIT course at Angeles University Foundation. Okay? Ito po sila, my former professors at AUF. First, we have Dr. James Esquivel. Sir, good morning po. And welcome. Okay? And susunod po, yung kanyang may bahay, si Dr. Rosana Esquivel. Okay? Ma'am, thank you. Sir, thank you. Also, thank you to CHED for its K-12 transition program. Because of this, I was able to obtain my DIT degree. Okay, so before I will going to start the lecture proper, I will discuss first the topic outline and some of its overview. Okay, so the first topic is why database. So here, we will define what is database and why it is important in managing information. For number 2, we have the types of database relationship. Here, I will go into discuss the different types of database relationship, and we will be having some demonstration using Microsoft Access in order to show how these relationships will be done. And the subtopic under this topic are the following. We have one-to-one relationship, one-to-many, many-to-one, and many-to-many. And then for anomalies, using our platform, which is the Microsoft Access, I will going to show how anomalies avoided with the application of the previous topic, which is the database relationship and the normalization. Okay, so the subtopic under this topic are, we have later the insertion anomalies, update anomalies, and we have the deletion anomaly. And also, we will tackle database normalization in order to eliminate or reduce redundancy. So, when I say redundancy, ito yung mga data na paulit-ulit natin nasa-save or sinisave sa table natin doon sa database natin. Okay? So, here, we will tackle the first normal form, second normal form, and the third normal form. Also, we will be having a brief introduction on the objects of Microsoft Access, as well as some presentations how we are going to use these objects. And the objects included in this topic are tables, queries, forms, reports, and macros. So, why database? The collection of data is usually referred to as the database. So this contains information that is relevant to an enterprise or an organization. And one of the purpose why we have a database is to provide us a way to store, retrieve, and update record and data that is both convenient and efficient. So what is relationship? By definition, relationship is an association among several entities. So when we say entities, ito yung mga tables sa loob ng ating database. And this was managed by matching data into different key columns by forming columns with similar name in both tables. So in relationship, we are linking our tables in our database by means of relating them. Okay? I would like to emphasize the word relating them. Okay? So by using appropriate field or fields that was declared as a key in the table. Later on, doon sa mga slides natin, you will be enlightened some of the keys na ginagamit to relate our table in our database. And these are the types of relationship. We have one-to-one relationship, we have one-to-many, many-to-one, and many-to-many. Here, technically, we only have three types of relationship. Okay? The one-to-many and many-to-one were just a matter of reference where you're going to start to read the relationship among tables or between tables. Kung ito ba ay right to left or left to right. So, ibig sabihin, itong one-to-many and many-to-one, parang iisa yan. Okay? Now, under one-to-one relationship, ito yung sinasabi niya. Okay? Two tables have one-to-one relationship when a row on one table is related to only one row on the other table. Okay? So this form of relationship is created when both related columns in the table consist of a unique constraint or unique key or a primary key. So we will be defining what is a primary key and what is a unique key. Okay? So etong primary key, this is the most appropriate fields or columns in our database, in our table that can identify the uniqueness of a record. Okay? Yon. Then yung unique key naman can also identify the uniqueness of a record, but the main difference between the two is that the primary key cannot contain a null value. Okay? While the unique key can contain. Okay, I will repeat, no? Yung primary key and unique key, yung difference niya is that the primary key cannot contain a null value. Hindi siya pwede magkaroon ng blankong laman doon sa field na yon. Okay? While the unique key ay pwede siya. Now, paano ba kinoconnect itong dalawang table na to using a one-to-one relationship? Okay. So dito, we will relating the table by means of this. Okay? First, we can use both primary key to relate the two table. Okay, that is the first one. And then the second two is we can use primary key on the other table, and then on the other table is will be using a unique key, or pwedeng vice versa. Yung isa ay unique key, tapos sa kabila ay primary key. Or pwede rin dalawang unique key ang gamitin para i-relate yung dalawang table. Now, each primary key value relates to only one or no record in the related table. Now, the principle behind why they call it one-to-one is that a certain data will only be accepted only once. Okay? Only once. Saan? Doon sa field ng table na ginamit natin para i-link yung dalawang table. Okay? And that data will only accepted only once din doon sa kabilang table. Kaya tinatawag siyang one-to-one relationship. Okay. So, ito yung implementation ng one-to-one relationship using a unique key and a primary key. Okay? So, makikita natin dito. Okay? We have two tables here, the stud info and the stud guardian. Under kay stud info, we have a field of stud guardian ID. This is declared as a unique key. Tapos, ito ay nilink natin sa isang table na ang pangalan ng table ay stud guardian at ang ginamit natin dito ay guardian ID. Pero this time, yung guardian ID ay naka-primary key. So, ito yung makikita mo kapag yung key is declared as a primary key using Microsoft Access. Okay? Ito naman yung implementation kapag both primary key yung ginamit natin. So, under stud info, we use student number as from the table stud info to link this table dun sa stud guardian. Yan yung ginamit natin. Dalawang primary key. O pwede yan. Okay? So now, I will demonstrate to you paano ito ginagawa doon sa Microsoft Access. Okay? I will shift lang from my presentation to Microsoft Access para ipakita ko lang kung paano ito ginagawa. Okay? So, can you see my screen now?
Yes po, sir.
Okay? So, from here, you are going to choose a relationship by accessing it doon sa database tools natin dito. I-click mo lang ito, tapos, okay, under relationship, yan, let's, delete the relationship. Okay? So, relate natin si stud info. Add lang natin yan. Si stud guardian, add lang natin. So, eto siya. Okay? So, we have here, unique key, yung ginamit natin dito. Yan. This is unique key. This is stud primary key. All you have to do is to click this one, tapos i-drag mo lang doon. Okay? Then lalabas to. Okay? You can check this enforced referential integrity. So ano bang sinasabi kapag chine-check natin yung enforced referential integrity? Pag click mo yan, ibig sabihin, okay, yung data na i-accept dito dapat present dito. Okay? Under kay stud info dito. Okay? Pag hindi kanya papayagan na or hindi kanya i-allow na i-accept yung datang yun kapag wala siya dito. Yan. Okay? Tignan natin. Create. Okay? So that is a one-to-one relationship. Okay? Ibig sabihin, yung data dito, okay, i-accept lang only once din dito. Okay? kaya natin pinakita yung enforced referential integrity kasi dito, hindi ka makapag-enter ng data hanggat wala siya dito. Okay? So let's try na mag-enter ng record. So let's save our relationship. Yan. Then, let's go to our tables under stud info. Okay? Makita mo dito kay stud guardian. Okay? Yan. Delete muna natin itong mga to. Okay. So here, let's try na mag-enter ng record. 2020-1001. The last name is De La Cruz. For example, we have De La Cruz. We have first name is Juan. Middle name is A. City ID is 2306. Course ID is 1. And guardian is number 1. Okay. Yan. Pero, kapag pupunta ka dito, nag-enter ka ng 2. Yan. Ito, sinasabi ko yung kanina, why we enforce the referential integrity? Kasi yung guardian ID na to is hindi pa present kay stud info, kaya hindi kanya pinayagan. Yun yung gamit nung enforcing yung ating referential integrity. Okay? Pero kapag ano yon, kapag present yon, maaari mo siyang tatanggapin niya dito. For example, dito, present si 1. Ngayon, si 1 na yan, tatanggapin na niya pagdating kay stud guardian. Kasi andito na siya kay stud info. Okay? Let's try. Guardian ID is 1. Guardian last name is, for example, we have AAA na lang para mabilis tayo. Guardian AA. Ayan, ina-allow ka niya. And one of the, yung manonotice mo, kapag yung table mo ay naka-relationship is that, makikita mo dito. Okay? So, yan, mayroong parang plus sign dito sa beginning of the column mo. Makikita mo dyan. Ibig sabihin, eto, parang nakapasok yung, sa table na to, naka-under sa kanya yung table na stud guardian. Okay? So, let's move sa, okay na po. Okay, so let's move. Ito yung common uses naman ng ating one-to-one relationship. Okay? So, if the user wants to divide the table into multiple columns, pwede pong gamitin yan. And for isolating parts of the table, kasi for example, for security reasons, kasi maybe there are some parts of the table na hindi pwedeng ipakita, kaya hinihiwalay natin yon. Then for storing short-lived data that is prone to get deleted when the deletion of the table. And then for storing information that is subset information from the main table. When I say subset, ito yung katuloy lang. Now, let's move to one-to-many relationship. Okay. In one-to-many relationship, the primary key table contains only one record that relates to one or many records in the related table. So, this is the common type of relationship. Okay? So, in one-to-many relationship, ano naman yung key na ginagamit dito? Okay? So, here, we are using primary key and a foreign key to relate the table. Okay? So, etong tinatawag nating foreign key, okay? I will define what is foreign key kasi yung primary key na-define na dun sa una kanina. Okay, foreign key is a field or column in our table that points to primary key and also ginagamit siya as a cross-reference between tables. Okay? Ngayon, etong one-to-many relationship, parang the principle behind this naman is sa isang table, yung data ay tatanggapin minsan. Okay? Tapos sa kabilang table, tatanggapin naman siya ng paulit-ulit. Kaya one-to-many. So, ibig sabihin, for example, you have data sa kabilang table that sa table na yan will be accepted only once. But when it comes to other table, that data will be accepted many times. Yan. So one-to-many relationship can also be viewed as many-to-one relationship depending on which way you look at it. Ito yung sinasabi ko na technically, yung one-to-many at saka many-to-one ay pareho lang. Okay? So ito naman yung implementation ng one-to-many relationship. So here, we have a table named city. Okay? Tapos we have field city ID. Dineclare natin siya as primary key. Tapos, sa kabilang table, yung field na yan, okay, nilagay natin dito, okay, tapos nilink natin siya. Okay? By dragging the key papunta doon sa kabilang table. Okay. So, paano ito ginagawa? Okay. I will shift from dito. Okay. So, we are going to relate the stud info doon sa city. Okay. How? Okay. Go to database tools. Okay. I-click mo lang itong relationship. Yan. Tapos, pag hindi mo makita yung table na city, okay, all you have to do is to i-click mo lang tong show table. Or, pwedeng dito, right-click mo lang, dito, any space here, then show table. Yan. O, pwede rin dito. Okay? Then, i-add mo yung city, add, close. Ayan. Okay? So, city ID, yan, naka-primary key siya, tapos i-drag natin, yan, yung tapat ni city ID under kay table na stud info. Yan. Then, enforced referential integrity, yan, cascade update related fields, and cascade delete related fields. Mamaya, ito mga tatlong ito magagamit natin in our discussion doon sa anomalies. Okay? So, create. Yan. So, ayan na yung table natin. Yung relationship of our tables. We have the city, meron siyang dalawang field, city ID and address. So, etong city na primary key under kay city table, okay, nakalink siya doon kay city ID. Okay? So, if you're going to look at your table, ano yung itsura niya? Okay? Under kay stud info, ayan siya. Okay? Ayan. Okay, pero dito kay stud ID, yan, kay city ID, makikita mo, yan. So ibig sabihin, under kay Kamiling na address, mayroong isang nakatira. Nakarelate siya ngayon diyan. Dito wala pa. Okay. Pwede mo rin gamitin to, itong table na to para bigyan or mag-insert ng record under kay stud info. Okay? Ano nyo? Let's try na mag-add dito kay stud info ng record. So here, another record, 2020, 1002. Name, ang last name niya for example is si Sabado. Okay? Sabado. Tapos, first name niya is si Rose. Then B. Dito sa city ID, pag nag-enter ka dito nang wala doon sa city ID dito, nang wala dito sa selection dito sa city ID, hindi kanya rin papayagan. So dapat andyan din siya. So let's try to use the 2307. So under city ID 2307, yan, anong course niya? For example, 1. Okay? Ito magkakaroon duplication to. So dapat mag-enter muna tayo ng isang guardian ni stud number 2020-1002. Okay? Under ka stud guardian 1002, so we have here
Hello po, Sir Ruben. Na-mute po yata kayo. Sir Ruben? Hello po.
ayan sir.
Ayan po, okay na po. Thank you, sir.
Okay na po. Okay, sige po. Delete record, yes. 2020, 1002, then si Sabado, tapos Rose, tapos for example B, city ID is 2307, course ID is 1, 2. Yan. Tapos i-add natin doon sa Student Guardiancy 2. Okay, BBB, tab BBB, tab BBB. Yan. So makikita mo rito, okay, pagpunta mo ng city, may laman na ngayon to. Yung in-enter natin kanina. Yan. Okay? If you want to add another dito, another record, gamit itong table na to para lagyan mo yung stud info, ay pwede rin. Okay? How? Dito mo lang. I-click mo lang dito. Tapos mag-add ka lang dyan ng another record. Diretso na yan. Okay? So, next is many-to-many. Okay. So, many-to-many relationship are more complicated because they involve a joint table. Okay? So, many-to-many relationship require a third table known as an associate or linking table because relational system cannot accommodate the relationship. Okay. So, ibig sabihin, under many-to-many, this involves the creation of a table that will join the two tables. This third table is also called a junction table which contains a foreign key that will relate the two tables. So, ngayon sabihin ko, ano ba yung foreign key na define natin kanina. So, ulitin ko lang ngayon. Ang foreign key, kasi itong foreign key ay magagamit natin dito sa many-to-many. So, foreign key is a field or column in our table that points a primary key of another table. It acts as a cross-reference between tables. So, eto ngayon yung implementation naman ng many-to-many relationship. So, makikita mo, we have three tables here. We have the subject, we have the schedran, and we have the stud info. Okay? So, eto ngayon yung table na ginamit natin para i-join yung dalawang table na to. Okay? At eto yung foreign key. Silang dalawa ay foreign key. So, etong stud no, naka-link dito kay stud info, and the subject code ay naka-link naman doon sa subject. Okay? So, paano ito gawin? Okay, I will shift. Yan. I-link natin itong dalawa, yung stud info, papunta kay subject at saka kay schedran. Okay? So, let's show our table. Let's access this icon. Yan. Tapos, lagay natin si subject, tapos si schedran. Yan. Okay. So, ito yung table natin ngayon. Yan. Okay. So, ito yung mag-link dito at saka dito sa subject natin. Okay? So, paano i-link? So, gaya ng mga nakaraan nating exercises, click and drag lang sila. Okay? So, under stud number, lagay mo lang dito. Yan. So, enforce referential integrity, cascade delete related fields, cascade update related fields. Then, click create. So, yan. Yan yung sinasabi niyang one-to-many. And then, eto naman, okay, so pwedeng mag-start dito, papunta doon, or pwedeng dito, papunta doon. Okay, so dito, click mo lang dito. Yan. Then, enforce referential integrity, cascade update related fields, and cascade delete related fields. Makikita mo, sabi nyo, relationship type, one-to-many. Okay, yan siya. One-to-many, pero ito is many-to-many siya. Create. Ayan. So, Ito ngayon yung design ng database natin. Student info, ito yung magli-link sa dalawang table natin. Yan. So, yun lang kasimple yung ating many-to-many relationship. Later on, magagamit natin to doon sa anomalies natin. So, let's go to anomalies. Okay? So, anomalies are problems that occur in poorly planned and unnormalized database. Okay. So, we have three types of anomalies. Ito yung insertion anomaly, update anomaly, and we have the deletion anomaly or the delete anomaly. Ngayon, alamin natin, ano ba, kailan ba nangyayari ang insertion anomaly? Okay? Insertion anomaly happens when we are unable to insert a record if a certain data is unavailable as part of that record. Okay. Yun namang deletion anomaly, this happens when we are going to delete a data from a record, then the other data from that record will be affected, or in some other malulos sila. Mawawala or madidelete. Okay? Kaya tinawag siyang deletion anomaly. And then we have the update anomaly. Update anomaly happens when we update a data from a record, and then that update will not be cascaded on the other record. Ibig sabihin, magkakaroon na yan ng tinatawag nating data inconsistency. Okay. So, this is an example of anomalies. So, as you can see in my presentation, yung last table natin, null. Okay? Null. So, dapat sana kung ito ay insertion anomalies, since ito ay null, hindi kompleto yung record natin dito, kasi wala siyang course, hindi mo siya mai-insert. Hindi mo siya mai-add doon sa record natin kasi kulang siya. So, doon nagko-fall yung tinatawag nating insertion anomaly. Okay? Now, paano naman yung delete anomaly? Okay? So, for example, here, dinelete ko yung course ni 2020-1001. Okay? Sa delete anomaly, kapag tinanggal mo, for example, to, okay, lahat ng record na yan ay matatanggal na or affected na sila. Okay? Diyan nagko-fall yung tinatawag nating delete anomaly. So, kung ito ay naka-normalize yung database natin, hindi mangyayari yon. Okay? Now, what happens naman doon sa update anomaly? Okay? Sa update anomaly naman, for example, dito sa subject, as you can see, we have here subject description na dalawang computer programming 1. Ngayon, sa computer programming 1, ito, yung isa, pinalitan natin ng computer programming 2. For example, yan. Parehong ITIC-02 ito. Yan, nakita mo, ITIC-02, programming 1. ITIC-02, programming 1. Ito, pinalitan ko ng programming 2. Okay? So, dapat, pag ito pinalitan mo, pati yung mga record na kamukha nito, ITIC-02, dapat mapapalitan. Pag hindi yan napalitan, diyan magpo-fall yung tinatawag nating update anomaly. Okay? Diyan nagkakaroon ng tinatawag nating data inconsistency. Okay? So, for this, I will going to set up a one-to-many relationship, and we are going to use referential relation for you to figure out how anomalies happen and how it will be avoided. Okay? So, I will shift my presentation doon sa MS Access para makita nyo. Okay. So, gamitin natin itong part na to. Stud info, tapos schedtran and subject. Now, we are going to use a query gamit ang referential relation para ma-simulate natin itong anomalies na to. Okay. So we have here, let's create a query. And then, from that, query design. Marami kasi dito. Table, so query, then query design. Yan. Now, sa query natin, ano yung mga table source natin? So, ilagay mo lang, iselect mo lang, tapos i-add mo dito. Okay? So, si schedtran, add, or sa ID na lang. Sa ID na lang, sorry. But marami kasing involved na table doon eh. Okay, so let's add table, show table, si city ID, yan, add natin, at saka si stud info, add natin. Close. Okay, so dito, we have here, kuhanin natin si stud number, ilabas natin si last name, i-retrieve natin si first name, middle initial, tapos city ID, but this time the address manggagaling doon. Then course ID, tapos guardian ID. I-run natin. So ito yung ating data. Yan. Okay. So paano yung sinasabi kong insertion anomaly? Okay. So for example, dito yung core city ID. Yan. Oh. Matching. Yan, oh. Nawawala yung city ID. Pag click mo to, ito yung deletion anomaly na eh. Yes. Okay, so let's have, mag-create tayo ulit ng query natin. Create, then query design, query, then design a query, city ID, stud info, tapos si city ID. Add. Close. Dito is student number, last name, first name, middle name, tapos city ID, course ID, city ID, yan. Okay, city ID is course ID, yan. Kunyari, 2020, 1003, and then pangalan niya is, for example, si Mike. Then first name, last name is, for example, Domingo. Okay. And then Juan, A. Supposed to be hindi natin alam yung kanyang city ID, kung taga saan siya. Okay. So, yes. Yan. Hindi mo siya may insert. Hindi mo siya may insert kasi nga, hindi mo alam yung kanyang city ID. Pero once na alam mo yan, 2306, may insert mo siya. Okay? Yan yung tinatawag nating insertion anomaly. You cannot insert a particular record kapag yung record niya dito is may isang data na nawawala. Yan siya. Okay. So, dito siya may insert. Yan, nakita mo, dalawa lang, yan. Pag ito tinanggal mo to, wala na yung, ito naman yung deletion anomaly. Pag tinanggal mo yan, ayan, okay, pagbalik mo dito, dapat wala ito. Ayan. Okay, now, doon sa update anomaly, for example, ito, in-update ko tong kamiling, for example, ginawa ko siyang kamilings, okay, so dapat, pati yung record dito is mag-update. Okay, paano gagawin ko? I will go here at the table, ayan, under kay city, and then gawin kong S yan. Okay, pagbalik mo doon sa query natin, dito, sa queries, okay, yan. Okay, so yan yung tinatawag nating update. Yan. Kung dito papalitan, okay, magkakaroon ka ng tinatawag nating update anomaly kasi hindi yan magkakascade on the other table. Kaya dapat naka-normal yung database natin para magawa mo siya. Ayan. Okay? So, next is we're going to next is database normalization. So, normalization is a technique of organizing the data in the database. Normalization is a systematic approach of decomposing tables to eliminate data redundancy and undesirable characteristics like insertion, update, deletion, anomalies. Okay? It is a multi-step process that puts data into a tabular form, removing duplicated data from the relation table. Okay? So, ito yung mga purpose why we are doing a normalization. Okay? We are eliminating redundant data and ensuring data dependencies make sense. Okay? So, advantages ng normalization, ayan. Okay. So, normalization rule. So, we have the first normal form. Now, ano ba yung makikita natin under the first normal form? Okay? First, it should only have a single attribute. A single valued attributes sa column natin. And values stored in a column should be of the same domain and all the columns should have a unique names. So, ito yung example natin ng first normal form. So, dito, sa ating right table, it is unnormalized. Why? Because yung record na M102, it contains dalawang data under kay M-Mobile. So, as well as doon kay 104. So, this is in violation of the first normal form. Kasi sabi niya, dapat it should only contain a single value. Okay? Doon sa mga data natin. Okay? Now, para ma-normalize to, okay, ito yung kanyang kalalabasan. Okay? Ito. This one. Okay? So, as you can observe, nagkaroon tayo ng pangalawang record kay 1002, but this time, yan na, isa-isa nating in-enter yung kanyang mobile number. As well as under kay 104. Okay? So, dito, makita mo, dalawa yung record niya, pero pag normalize natin, ayan na siya. Okay? Magiging ganito na siya. Ayan. Okay. So, another example of in violation of the first normal form is yung ganitong design ng table natin. You have the student number, student name, course, year, and section. So this is also in violation of the first normal form. Bakit? Kasi sa student name, siniksik niya dyan yung pangalan, last name, first name, at saka yung kanyang last name, first name, at saka middle name. Okay? So, dapat yan ay dinivide natin. Dapat ganito siya para ma-normalize natin siya. So, we have 1001, separate or nakahiwalay dapat yung kanyang last name, first name, and yung kanyang middle initial. Yan siya. Okay? So, eto. Yan. Bakit ito bakit ito kasi pag ganyan, mahihirapan tayo kung later on gusto mong isort yung data, okay, yung record natin by, it's either by last name, first name, and middle name. Pag nakaganito, mahihirapan tayo. Okay? So, dapat, mas madali ay nakaganyan siya. Okay? Okay, next, on the second normal form. Okay, so ano naman yung requirement doon sa second normal form? So dapat it should be, dapat yung table natin ay dapat naka-first normal form na. And then, no non-prime attribute is dependent on the proper subset of any candidate key of a table. So, ito yung example ng ating second normal form na hindi pa siya naka-second normal form. In violation, a table that is in violation of the second normal form. So here, the table is in first normal form. Why? Because each attribute has atomic values. Okay? Meron ng tig-isang value. However, it is not in second normal form because non-prime attribute teacher age is dependent on teacher ID. So alone, which is proper subset of a candidate key. So this violates the rule for second normal form, as the rule says non-prime attribute is dependent on the proper subset of any candidate key. So paano siya dapat second normal form, i-normalize natin. So dapat ganyan. So ihihiwalay natin yung teacher age gamit yung teacher ID as a link. As you can see dito kasi, magkakaroon dito ng duplication habang dumadami yung subject na hinahawakan ng particular na teacher. For example, dito, as you can observe here, di ba? Oh, teacher ID 111. Meron siyang dalawang subject na hinahawakan, which is the math and the physics. Kaya makikita mo na duplicate yung age dito. Okay? As well as din kay teacher ID 333. You have the physics and you have the chemistry, yan, pero yung age niya na doble. Yan. So, observe nyo dito sa second normal form natin. Makikita mo, hindi na nadoble since hiniwalay natin yung teacher age na isang table pa, nag-create tayo. So, hindi na nadoble ngayon, nagkaroon ng redundancy doon sa teacher age. Yan, mag-isang sila. So, the table is now on a second normal form. Okay. Ano naman yung ating third normal form? Okay. So, a table design, a table is said to be in third normal form if both following conditions. Okay. Unang-una, dapat yung ating table must be in a second normal form. Then, transitive functional dependency of non-prime attribute on any superkey should be removed. An attribute that is not part of any candidate key is known as non-prime attribute. An attribute that is part of one of the candidate key is known as a prime attribute. Okay, so ito is in violation of the third normal form. So as you can see here, yung town, emp city, and emp district is dependent, itong tatlong to, itong town, emp city, emp district is dependent siya under kay zip or emp zip. Okay. That makes them a non-prime attribute. So, etong town ngayon, emp city in district is magiging transitive dependent siya doon kay emp ID. Yan. Kaya, nagkakaroon ng violation doon sa ating third normal form. So, parang doon sa, kanina, doon sa second normal form, kapag dumadami yung emp ID na nakatira sa iisang town, okay, eto, naduduplicate ngayon ito. Ayan. For example, meron ka pang another record, 1003. Yung pangalan niya, tapos taga-Kamiling pala siya. So, ibig sabihin, maduduplicate na naman ito. Okay? So, what if kung meron kang 100 ganong empleyado? So, ibig sabihin, so eto will be duplicated 100 times. Ibig sabihin, magsasayang tayo ng space doon sa table natin. Okay. Yan. So, paano natin siya ihihiwalay? Okay. So, ganyan dapat. Okay, yan. So we have the emp ID, emp name, emp zip. Okay, ito yung pang-link natin dito para malaman natin, ito, yan. Pang-link natin dito para malaman natin kung anong town, anong imps, anong city, at saka anong district yung particular na a record having an employee ID 1001. Yeah. Okay, so we have the webinar code. So take time to remember the code kasi sabi nga kanina ni Sir Randel, kailangan nyo ito when you're going to fill up the evaluation form. Okay? I will give you 1 minute. Okay na po ba? Let's move to another topic. Okay na? Okay. So, let's move to yung mga objects. Okay? Objects in Microsoft Access. Okay? So, ito yung mga tables natin, queries, forms, reports, and macros. Okay. Unahin natin dito sa tables. Okay? So, paano ba tayo gumagawa ng table? Okay? Dito sa ating Microsoft Access. Okay? So, eto, create ka lang, tapos table. Yan. Okay? So, right-click, design, view. You're going to save first your table. For example, table, ito na lang. Ito lang yung ano natin, yung ating sample, yung stud info. Okay, right-click, then design view. Okay, so eto, pwede siya kapag may nagawa ka na. Pero kapag wala ka pang nagagawa, you can access the create, tapos table, and then right-click, design view, tapos isave mo lang, then yan, gagawa ka na dyan. Yung mga field natin. Okay, so para mabilis tayo, ito na lang gagamitin natin, i-design view ka lang siya, yan. Okay, ito yung tinatawag nating, gagawa tayo muna ng mga field names ng ating table. Okay, so naisip ko, stud record yung gagawin ko, kaya nilagay ko dito ay stud number. Stud no. Okay, take note po ha, when we say field name, yan, dapat yung information na ilalagay mo dito is particularly, specifically, dapat yan ay student number. Okay? Pag hindi, in violation na naman yan doon sa first normal form kasi malilito tayo later on. Okay? Stud number, we have the last name, first name, middle initial, city ID, course ID, and the guardian ID. Okay. Paano siya gagawing primary key? Okay. Just select this table, tapos i-click mo lang itong primary key. Okay. So here, in this field, you can modify yung property. Okay. Property nung field na to. Okay. Yung property niya, nandito sa baba. Okay? We have the general and lookup. General muna tayo. So, field size, 50, sabi niya. So, ibig sabihin, this field stud number will only accept a length of 50 character. Yan, field size. May format, input mass, yan. Validation rule, bahala ka na dyan kung anong gusto mong ano yan. Okay? Tapos, last name. Last name is, ginawa ko is, field size is 255. Ibig sabihin, it will contain 255 characters. Take note po ha, when we say be careful in declaring the field size. Kasi ito, pag nag-declare tayo ng 255, automatically, itong field na to will allocate us a 255 characters for this. Yan. Kaya lang, pag nag-enter ka ng record mo at hindi mo na gamit lahat yung yung 255 na character na yan, naka-reserve pa rin yan doon sa ating database. Ibig sabihin, nag-declare tayo ng napakalaki, pero ang kailangan lang pala natin ay 15 characters, 25 characters, yun lang pala. So ang technique dito, alamin mo na ano ba yung pinakamahabang last name na pwede mong i-enter or i-insert on this field. Yun na ang ilagay mo dito para hindi ka magsasayang ng space. Parang in programming, nag-declare ka ng integer, okay, integer type of variable, pero ang ikakarga mo lang sa kanya is 2 digit lang pala. Okay? So what happens doon sa other? Okay? Other yung other digit. Okay? Ibig sabihin, yun ay waste. Waste lang yan, nagkaroon ng waste doon sa ating memory. Okay? So, then after that, paano mo siya lagyan? Lalagyan ng laman. Ang gawin mo lang is right-click here, tapos open. Yan, you can now add a record here. Yan. Okay? Okay? So, dito, pwede mo rin siyang, for example, under sa... Okay, so let's go to queries. Queries na tayo. Okay. So, sa queries naman, okay, for example, ito yung record natin, table natin. Gusto ko lang palabasin or i-retrieve lang si stud number, last name, first name, middle initial. Okay? So, what I'm going to do is, you're going to use the create, tapos yung create, tapos query design. Then, ano yung table source mo? I-click mo lang to, and then click add. Okay? For example, gusto mo to, stud number, last name, first name, middle initial. These are the fields lang from the table ang gusto mong i-retrieve. So, click run. So, yan yung lalabas. Okay. So, for example naman, gusto kong i-filter lang. For example, yung lahat ng Dela Cruz, siya lang yung lalabas. Okay. So, sa query, pwede nating gawin yan. Okay. So, paano? Okay. Query 6. Let's go to our query. So, ito yung query natin kanina. Design view natin to. Ayan. Then, from here, for example, palalabasin ko si Dela Cruz lang, ilagay mo dito ay Dela Cruz. Dela Cruz. Okay? So, pag niran mo to, using this icon, okay, siya lang yung lalabas doon sa record natin. Kasi, siya lang yung nakasatisfy doon sa condition na ginamit natin doon sa field ng last name, which is yung Dela Cruz. Okay? Ayan siya. Save. Eh, what if gusto ko ako yung maglalagay, user input, yung magiging value nung ating criteria na ilalabas itong query natin. Okay, so pwede rin yon. So, let's go here, design view, tapos ilagay mo lang dito ay criteria is enter, for example, last name, enter last name. Yan. So, ito, yan. Ano yung gusto mong palabasin? Si Dela Cruz. Okay, lagyan mo lang yan, parameter value, then siya lalabas dito. Okay, so for example, gusto ko si Domingo. Okay, so right-click, design view, okay, yan, then lagyan mo lang Domingo. Kung may Domingo dyan, lalabas siya. Okay? So what if, kung gusto ko is lahat nung pangalan na nag-start ng letter D. Okay? So, alisin natin to. Yan. So, makita mo, kapag D yung ating nilagay, okay, so dapat yung dalawang record ang lalabas. Si Dela Cruz at saka si Domingo. Okay. So, paano? So, here, design view, lagyan mo lang dito, like naman dito. Like, gamitin mo yung like, Tapos, for example, enter value. Tapos, ito, trees. Yan. Sorry. Ampersand, then, asterisk. Yan. So, run natin to. Ulitin ko Ito yung magiging criteria natin. Magkakaroon tayo ng like, then enter value. Okay, tapos, and, yan, asterisk. Yung asterisk represents yung whole character natin. Okay, so ibig sabihin, pag di natin yan, okay, lahat ng last name starts with letter D, siyang lalabas dyan. So, click OK. Okay, yan. So, we have the De La Cruz at saka si Domingo. Okay? Kung gusto mo naman, for example, si, kanina yung content ng table natin, si Sabado yata. So, S, then, ilalabas dyan. Okay? Pwede rin, kanina, D. Yung natin, lumabas ay ito. Kasi sila yung last name na mayroong simula na D. Kaya lahat ng last name starts with letter D, siyang lumalabas. So what if kung nilagay natin D, E? So dapat ang lalabas dyan is si De La Cruz. Kasi siya lang yung may last name na nagsisimula sa D at E. Okay? So click OK. Yan. Okay? Pag Domingo, pag D-O, then lalabas si Domingo. Okay? Yan. Okay? So dito, pwede ka rin mag-count dito, pwede ka rin mag-sum. Marami kasing, dito pag inad mo to, yung totals, pwede kang mag-perform ng sum, average, minimum, maximum, count. Yan, yung mga yan, pwede mong gamitin dito. Okay. Yan. So, natin. Save. Okay. So, let's move to forms na tayo. So, itong forms natin, ginagamit natin to para ma-present natin ng mas mabuti yung mga tables natin. Okay? The question is, paano natin gagamitin itong mga ito? Forms. Okay? So here, go to forms. Yan. Forms. Let's create a form. Okay? So, ito, for example, form wizard na tayo. Mabilis tayo. Let's use the form wizard. So, under the form wizard, so, you will just going to select ano ba yung table or query na lalagyan natin or ilalagay natin yung data niya sa form. Okay, so for example, yung kanina yung course, yung query natin. Dito pwedeng, ang source mo dito can be a table or a query. So kanina yung query 6. So ito yung field under kay query 6. We have student number, last name, first name, and middle initial. So, lahat nilagay natin. Then next. So, you're going to choose yung format ng form na gusto mong gawin. If it is columnar, tabular, datasheet, or justified. For example, gusto ko tabular, nakaganyan siya. So, just select the tabular and then click next. Okay? Tapos, i-finish mo lang siya. Kung makita mo, enter values. Kasi yung query 6, mayroon siyang parameter na nilagay natin kanina na enter values. Yung criteria kung ano ba yung palalabasin natin na record. For example, D. Okay, so, okay. Lumalabas dito yung dalawang record na. Si Domingo. What if kung gusto ko lahat? Okay? Lahat na lang ng record. Hindi ako maglalagay ng criteria. Okay? Ibig sabihin, baguhin mo lang si query. So, under kay query 6, design view, tanggalin mo lang ito. Itong criteria mo dito. Control A, delete mo lang yan, then save. Okay? Tapos, pagpunta mo doon kay form, yan, kay form query 6. Ayan. So, tatlo sila ay nandiyan na. Okay? So, mas maganda ngayon yung presentation ng ating data using yung ating form. Ayan. Okay? So, next is, so dito sa form pala, you can also create mga main menu mo para ma-access mo through this, ma-access mo yung mga ibang object ng Microsoft na ginawa mo, just like yung tables mo, queries mo, forms mo. Okay? So, paano ba yung isang gamit ng form? Okay, you can create here, create, tapos blank form, okay, design view. So dito, you can, ano yung tools natin dito? Okay, so dito you can add button. Click mo lang dito, yan. Okay. Button, click cancel. Tapos ito, pwede mo lagyan ng macro ito para i-open niya yung particular na form or particular object na ginawa mo dito sa access. Okay, later on sa macros, ipapakita natin to kung paano yan lalagyan ng command para mag-open ng mga objects. Okay? Next is, let's go to reports. So, yung reports, halos kapareho lang nung form. Okay, kaya lang dito kasi sa form, we can now print our data. Okay? Pwede mo siyang i-print. Okay. Ang tanong pa, paano tayo gumawa ng report? So, punta ka lang dito, yung report, create, tapos report design, bahala ka anong gusto mo. If you want the report design, blank report or report wizard. So let's use na lang yung ating report wizard para madali po tayo. Okay, so under the report wizard, okay, parang sa form kanina, okay, we are going to choose yung source of data natin. Saan siya manggagaling? So just specify. So dito, for example, yung query 6 yung gusto natin. Okay, so yan. Then, next. Tapos, yan. By stud number. Kung wala naman, ganyan lang siya. So, next. Ano yung pagkaka-arrange ba? Ascending or descending? Kung gusto mong i-arrange, i-specify mo lang dyan. I-arrange mo by stud number, by last name, first name, middle initial. You can do that. Okay, for example, I want the last name as yung ascending. Then next, tapos anong gusto mong layout? Columnar ba? Tabular or justified? For example, I want to use the tabular. Then naka-orientation is portrait. Then click next. Then click finish. So yan na yung report natin. So eto, kung naka-connect na yung print mo dito, yung printer mo, you can now print this one. Okay, pwede mo rin baguhin tong title ng report mo. Go to report view, tapos yan, baguhin mo lang to. For example, report, let's say enrollment report. Enrollment report. Okay? Yan. So, save na natin, then let's view. Makita mo ganyan na siya. Okay? Yan. You can also, dito sa report, you can also count kung ilan yung estudyante mayroon ka. Okay? By means of dito, let's going to insert formula dito sa page footer natin. I-count mo by last name na lang. Equal sign, you have the count. Okay? Yung ating last name. So, makita mo, bibigyan ka, design view, let's insert, na lang. Group that my last name. Add group, last name. Design view. Equal sign, the count, then by last name. So you now have 3 records. Okay? Si De La Cruz, Sabado at saka si Domingo. Okay? Paano siya ginawa? Okay? So nag-add lang tayo ng under sa report footer. Okay? Ito lang yung formula na ilalagay natin. There you have, bibilangin niya lahat ng last name. Okay? Kaya meron kang, nakikita mo dito, pag niran mo yan, so you now have here 1, 2, 3 because you have 3 records. What if you're going to insert another record? Ibig sabihin, ito mababago ito. Magiging 4 siya. Okay? Let's try. Doon sa ating table natin, under the tables, doon sa stud info. Okay? Let's insert another 2020 1004 and then the last name, for example, is Torres. Okay? 2306, then 1, 3. Okay, so close. Let's go to our reports. Tapos, query 6. So you now have 4 records. Yeah. Okay, so yung last natin, mayroon tayong macros. Okay, paano ba ginagawa yung macros? Okay. Kagaya ng ginagawa, sinasabi ko kanina, under our forms, okay, dito, let's create a main menu that will open an object, okay, na ginawa natin dito sa access natin. So nagagawa natin yan by means of creating a macro. Okay, paano yung macro? Okay, go to macros, tapos let's create a new one. Okay, macro, ito. So, ito yung ating macros. Okay. For example, gusto kong mag-open ng report. Okay. So, go here. Specify mo yung report. Yan. Open report. And then, specify mo lang ano bang yung name of report na i-open mo. Okay. So, for example, I would like to open the query 6 na report. Okay. Yan. So, normal. Then, save mo lang siya. Okay, for example, macro 2. Okay. Ngayon, paano ko siya i-insert? Okay, i-insert dito. So, pag click ko to, dapat, ito, pag click ko yan, so dapat ang i-open niya si report na query 6. So, paano? So, ito, right-click mo lang to, go to build event. Yan. Sorry. So, form 1, right-click. Punta ka sa form properties, event. Hanapin mo si on-click. Ito yung event. On-click, tapos si macro to. Ibig sabihin, kapag daw yung command itong command na to, ay click natin, tatawagin niya si macro to. Macro to. Yan. 2. Pero, ano bang ginagawa ni macro to? Ang ginagawa niya ay, i-open naman niya si query 6 na report. Nakita mo dito, so design view, okay, form view, then click mo siya. Sorry. Macro 1 yata yung form macro to. Sorry. But design view macro to is hindi na save kanina. Open report. Tapos yung i-open natin ay si query 6. Then save, run. So ito yung i-open niya dapat. Okay. Tapos yung macro to, let's go to forms. Yung ito, okay, design view. So from here, properties of the command, on click, then macro 1. So save natin yan. Then form view, pag click mo yan, ino-open niya ngayon yung enrollment report. Now, dito kung gusto mong i-open yung table, so dapat dito kanina, choose mo dito, hindi siya open report, kundi open table. Yan. So, dapat dito kung gagawa ka ulit ng open, kunya query naman yung i-open natin. So, go to macros, then let's going to create a new one. Okay. Then from here, magiging open query. Then ano yung name of the query na i-open natin? For example, si query 6. Then ano ba yung pagkaka-view niya? You can have a selection here, data sheet, design, print preview, or yan, bahala ka na. Then ano ba? Edit mode, or add, or read only. So read only. So it is now macro 3. Save natin. Okay. So run. So yan. For example, ito naman yung i-open natin. Okay. So under starting form, let's create another let's insert another command button. So just click here, tapos i-drag mo lang dito. Okay? Cancel. Okay? Tapos punta doon sa just right click mismo yung command button, right click, properties, and then event. On click natin si macro 3. So save natin 'yan. Okay? So from here, right click, form view. Okay? Click mo to, lumalabas yung query 6. Yan. Okay? So, you now have the forms, form 1, meron ka ng dalawang command button. Ito, nag-open ng report. Yan. Tapos yung isa ay nag-open ng query. Hindi na save yung kanina. Save natin, design view, right click, properties, event, macro 2. Okay, so save. Okay, so form view. Yan. So dito pwede mo i-design itong form mo. For example, gusto mong lagyan ng pagandahin siya, pwede rin naman. Okay? Pwede mong gamitin itong mga tools dito. Maglagay ka lang dito, for example, the main menu, ganyan, then save. Okay? So para ka na gumagawa ng isang system. So main menu, yan. Okay. Yung macro kanina, ba't ayaw mag-open? Let's try ano bang ginagawa ito. Design view, nawala pala kaya hindi niya mag-open. So, open report. Ulitin natin. Open report. Then ano yung report na i-open natin? Si query 6. Okay. So, save na natin. Run. Yan. So, makikita mo, under sa form mo ngayon, dito, sa form 1, you now have two queries, two command button. Yung isa, mag-open ng report, and the other one is mag-open ng command, yung query natin. Na query 6 kanina. Okay? So, next. So ito yung mga definition yung tables natin. Our objects and tables, yan. So, ito yung kanina pinakita ko. Okay, yung mga fields natin, paano ginagawa. Ito yung mga properties niya sa baba. Ito yung kanina kapag ino-open natin yung table. So, dito, yan, ang tawag dito ay isang row yan. So, dito, ang tawag naman dito ay isang column yan.
Hi, sir.
Then dito ay data. Sir.
Sir, sorry to interrupt po. Pero nawala po yata yung presentation, sir.
Nawala po.
Opo.
Wait lang po.
Sige, thank you, sir.
Yan, sir. Okay na po?
Yes, sir. Okay na po. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so hapit ko kanina. Okay, ito yung mga ano natin, query natin. Okay, ito yung sample of our query. Yan, ito yung magiging source natin. Tapos, yan, for example, if you want to retrieve some field or columns coming from your source, so i-drag mo lang siya dito, papunta dito. Yan. Ito yung criteria natin na ginagamit for filtering information na po pwedeng ilabas lang nung ating query. Yan. Okay. Ito yung form natin. Yan, yung mga different format or different design of form that we can use. We have the columnar, tabular, datasheet, tsaka justified. Okay? Yan, sample of form. Ito yung reports natin. Yan, parts of reports. Yan. Macros, yung kanina. Yan. Okay, so yun lang po.
Okay. Thank you, Sir Ruben.
Yes,
And,
welcome po.
I know everyone really tuned in. So for now, we will appreciate your inputs and your questions. So I think we can proceed na po with our question and answer portion. And afterwards, we will be having our class picture. So for everyone with web cameras or cameras, we invite you to turn them on later. So yun po, for our participants, so your time to shine. So let us have your questions, please. Ayun po, sir. Sobra niyo pong ginalingan, Sir Ruben. Mukhang wala pong questions from our participants, sir.
Thank you po. Thank you po, sir.
Yun po, for our attendees po, baka po meron po kayong mga questions. Ayun po, Sir Ruben. I think we have a question from Sir Julio Bentanilla Jr. Is it possible for unique and foreign defined as text or characters po?
Yes, sir. As long as those characters or text or characters can uniquely identify yung record. Pwede, sir. Kunyari, for example, yung student number, ang kanyang, basta po meron sa properties kanina, doon sa pinakita ko, pwede po siya.
Thank you po. I hope that Sir has answered your question, Sir Julio. So another question po, Sir Ruben, from Ma'am Sharon Estrella po. Ilan maximum rows daw po allowed sa table po?
Dati po yung Access 2003, it allows you to insert a record up to 65,000 something. Pero pagdating sa 2000, sa matas na version niya, mas marami na rin. Mas marami na rin siya as compared dun sa 2003. Basta 2003, yun nga po, it can accommodate only 65,536 rows. Pero sa mataas na version, mas mataas na siya.
Thank you, Sir Ruben. And another question po from Carlos Salonga. When is the right time to use MS Access or other databases like MS SQL or MySQL in software development?
Yun po, kapag yung ating i-design na database ay for multi-user na siya, pang network na siya, pang web na siya, so that's the right time you're going to use MySQL na. Kasi itong Microsoft Access is just a stand-alone lang siya. Single user lang siya, stand-alone lang siya. Pero yun nga po, kapag i-network mo na siya, ay hindi po advisable na gumamit na po tayo ng MySQL or kaya SQL Server.
Thank you po, Sir Ruben. Another question po from Ma'am Rachel Celine Saula. Sir, pwede po bang walang form tables lang or reports lang meron?
Kamagin, sir, pwede po bang?
Pwede po bang walang form tables or reports lang ang meron?
Pwede po, pwede po. I mean, gagawa ka ng reports tapos wala kang table? Ganun po ba yung ibig sabihin? Kasi po yung mga reports natin, dapat merong pinagkukuhanan ng source. Ang source natin is either yung table natin or yung ating query. Ganun po siya. You cannot have a report kung wala kang panggagalingan ng data mo. Ganun siya.
Okay. Thank you, Sir Ruben. Another question po from Julius Talabong. Paano po gagawin na pag-open ng database ay yung form na naka-display?
Pwede po yun, sir. Sa startup po, pagka-open nyo yung access, i-define nyo po sa startup niya para yung pinaka-main menu nyo ang lalabas na kaagad. Meron po yun. Meron po yun. Hanapin nyo lang po doon sa nasa tools din yun nasa main menu. Basta hanapin yung startup, i-define nyo na doon ano ba yung form na gusto nyo i-open. Pag in-open nyo yung access, yun na po yung unang lalabas.
Thank you, Sir Ruben. Another question po from our Chief of Admin and Finance from our regional office po kay Sir Nimir. Can we import tables from Excel, sir?
Yes, sir. Pwede po.
Ano po?
Actually po, pwede po pwede mong ang magiging source mo is yung Excel. Pag meron kang Excel, okay, yung information mo doon, yung data mo doon is pwede mo lang i-query doon pwede mong i-link doon sa table niya. Para hindi ka nagagawa ng table mo. Okay? Yung data mo sa Excel, i-link mo lang doon sa table mo sa Microsoft Access, then yun na yun. Pwede mo siyang i-query, pwede kang gumawa ng mga query na nag-filter ng record, pwede kang gumawa ng report, ganun po.
Thank you po, Sir Ruben. Address ko lang po yung concern ni Sir Edward Capulong. I will be sending a link po after before we end our webinar sa presentation po ni Sir Ruben. And yun po, another question po from AM Salipot. Meron po bang reference for standard field sizes, especially for usual fields like name, etc.? Sir Ruben?
Standard size na gagamitin. Basta po yung sinabi ko kanina, dapat kapag nag-set kayo ng field size ng ating field, dapat alamin nyo
Hello po.
So sayang lang yung sayang lang yung space. You are wasting the space.
Okay po. Yun po. Sir Ruben, ito po another question from Julio Ventanilla Jr. again. Comparison of capacity daw po for MS Access database with other database, sir. Nangingi lang po ng comparison si Sir Julio po.
I-compare natin doon sa Microsoft Access, i-compare natin sa MySQL. Okay? So, unang-una po yung just a standalone database.
Okay, sir. Medyo nawala po yata, sir. Ayun po. Sir Julio, I hope that answered your question po. Okay. Yun po. Another question po from Rosana Esquivel po. Sir, nawala yata, sir. Okay po, nawala po yata si Sir Ruben. So, for your questions po, kung meron pa po, pa-chat na lang po sa chat box natin. So, ayun po, while waiting po sa RP natin kay Sir Ruben, few reminders lang po regarding our post-evaluation po. Here's the link. Sisend ko na rin po ngayon yung link natin for our post-evaluation. 11 items po siya, 7 points po ang passing grade, and it should be submitted at 2 p.m. po today. Thank you po. Here's the link po. I sent it na po. And for those po who haven't registered, who haven't filled up our attendance sheet po, I'll be sending it here again sa chat box po natin. So, ayun po. Di na po yata bumalik si Sir Ben. So, in behalf of the ICT and LC2's free Wi-Fi team, we would like to thank and extend our deepest gratitude to Sir Ben for sharing his time and knowledge with us here in the ICT LC2. And with that very detailed and very informative webinar session, and I know that this webinar will be of great help for both private and public offices, schools, established businesses, and very timely for small businesses that just started during this pandemic. And also to our participants, we really appreciate for taking few hours of your time to attend our webinar. We will continue to serve and provide webinars for you. So please do like our Facebook pages. And as fun and informative and helpful as it has been, it's time to conclude our webinar. We hope to see you soon in our future webinars. So for our class picture po, for everyone who has camera po, so on na lang po para po sa ating class picture. Ayan po, bumalik na po si Sir Ruben. Hello, Sir Ruben?
Hello, sir. Sir Randel. May mga tanong pa po ba, sir?
Hi po, Sir Ben.
Yes, sir.
On na lang po, sir, ng camera natin po para sa class.
Sige, sir. Sige po.
Sure, sir.
Okay po. Ayaw mag-unsar eh.
Okay po.
Yan.
Okay po. So, yun po. 1, 2, 3, smile po. So, isa pa po. Ayan po. So po, 1, 2, 3. Smile po tayo. Thank you po. So, yun po, I will be flashing our third and last webinar code. Ito po siya, and I'll be sending you the link po for para po sa presentation po ni Sir Ruben. So for your questions po, PM na lang po kami sa aming Facebook pages po ng DICT Luzon Cluster 2 free Wi-Fi po. And here's the link po of Sir Ruben's presentation. And here's the link of our Facebook pages po. Ayan po. So, for everyone, thank you for your time and God bless po sa atin and stay safe, everyone. Thank you, Sir Ruben po, for our aming RP. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Welcome, sir. Welcome.